Good evening, everyone, and thank you for supporting such a wonderful cause. My name is Louise, and I am proud to say that I have two wonderful boys that attend the music and dance program at KidzWish House. When I was pregnant with my twin boys, there were no signs that there would be anything medically wrong. They were born 6 weeks premature, and they spent 2 weeks in the NICU at Wollongong Hospital, and then another 6 weeks in the special care nursery at Victory Private Hospital. When Jamie was born, his lungs were not fully formed and needed an oxygen head box to help him breathe. But when Rhys was born, he was breech and had swallowed the fluid, which went into his lungs, and it made him needed to be resuscitated. Once they had him breathing, there were still no signs of anything going wrong. They had to be tube fed as they did not have a sucking reflex. It came time for me to be released from hospital, but they had to stay in. This was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. At 18 months old, Rhys had his first seizure, and our lives changed dramatically forever. The first seizure was the hardest. We had lost him, and he needed to be revived. After Rhys had his first seizure, there were many questions that needed to be answered. He has had many seizures over the last 12 years, and he has now been diagnosed with 4 different types of seizures. They include tonic-clonic or grand mal, complex partial, absentee and drop seizures. I had to fight with the doctors for almost a year for Jamie to be tested for the same conditions that Rhys had. Once they finally agreed to do the testing, they found that Jamie had the same problems. I have been trying for many years to get an exact diagnosis, but to date I'm still waiting. There have been discussions between doctors in England, America and Australia, but none of them have ever seen the combination of conditions before, so this is making it extremely difficult for them to get a complete diagnosis. Even though a name will not change anything, I would still like to know, as it gives me the opportunity to do research and understand and plan for things that may happen in the future. Jamie and Rhys are fraternal twins, but they are genetically identical, which means what is wrong with one is wrong with the other. This is a rare genetic disorder which the doctors are still trying to figure out. Even though they are genetically identical, Rhys has more medical conditions than Jamie. My twins have multiple medical conditions. They include permanent brain damage, autism, 3 blood disorders, a chromosomal disorder, sleep apnea, and epilepsy, just to name a few. It seems that every time we go to the doctors, they just keep adding more things to the list of conditions. We still don't have a diagnosis for the chromosomal disorder, but being told that your child could lose their sight, their speech, and mobility is a very frightening thing as a parent. You worry every day about how these things will impact your life and the life of your child. Jamie and Rhys do not feel heat or cold, and they do not feel pain, which can be extremely dangerous. Jamie does not have all the conditions that Rhys does, but he does have most of them. Jamie did not start talking till he was 4 years old. The developmental delay that both the boys have shown are in different ways. Jamie loves music and dance and plays many different types of instruments. He loves to draw, play with his trains and do writing. Jamie has difficulty with speech, and it is not always easy for people to understand him, but he has full understanding of what he wants to say. Rhys loves puzzles, Lego, YouTube and computer games. His speech is very clear, but he does not always understand what he is saying. His vocabulary has increased immensely by watching YouTube, and unfortunately he has learned a few new words I wish he hadn't. But after all, they are 13 years old. Even though developmentally they are around 4 years old, and all children are like parrots, they copy everything they hear. My boys are very restricted in what they can do. The blood disorders mean that their immune system is compromised. They cannot go to school, playgrounds, shopping centres or anywhere that could give them a risk of picking up a cold, a flu or infection. What this means is they are at home with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I do homeschool them, as the time they spent at school meant they spent more time in hospital than at school. Many people would not consider my boys to have a disability, as their issues are not visual. So this makes it hard for some people to understand. When the boys were 7 years old, we were referred to KidzWish for speech therapy, and we were asked if we would like to attend music and dance. This was our first introduction to the wonderful people involved in this organisation. Chris and her team of people are all amazing people. Not only have they become a lifeline for myself and my boys, but they have welcomed us into their KidzWish family. We have been attending KidzWish for 6 years, and we have had the opportunity to go with KidzWish to Taronga Zoo, cruising around Sydney Harbour, and many other outings that I could not have done without them. KidzWish Music and Dance is the only place that my boys can attend. Their house is safe and a loving environment. Without KidzWish, my boys would be at home all the time with no social interaction with the other children. Music and dance is not just for the children, it also gives the parents time for adult conversation and interaction, as many parents do not get the opportunity to go out and have adult time. But it is not just my boys they help. There are many children that attend music and dance, sports academy, and also many other activities and therapies at KidzWish House. My boys love going to KidzWish House. They get to interact with the other children and people that are in similar situations to us. I cannot thank Chris and the KidzWish team enough for everything they do. They are helping to make our dreams for our children a reality. KidzWish has given many children the opportunity to grow and learn the love, compassion and understanding that they have for each child's needs comes before everything else. I would like to thank you all for your support and kindness. Without people like you, it would be extremely hard for KidzWish to do everything they do. With your support, they will be able to continue their great work they do and expand their services to be able to help more children and parents in need. Please enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you again for your support.